Holidays are supposed to be cheerful, but if you're dealing with a woman who has high traits of covert narcissism, Christmas, New Year's, birthdays, they all seem to end the same way. With you walking on eggshells, you being accused of ruining the holiday, you apologizing, fixing, or rescuing, while she plays the exhausted, unappreciated victim. Every holiday turns into a test that you can't pass. So if holidays always make you feel like you're walking through a minefield, then stick with me. I'm Lise, Leblanc, therapist, author, and life coach, and I work with men who were lied to, manipulated, gaslit, discarded, and emotionally destroyed by a narcissistic woman. In this video, I'm going to walk you through 7 things you can expect from a covert narcissist during the holidays. And at the end, I will give you my best tip to help you get through the holidays without getting blown up emotionally. Number 1, expect an increase in passive aggressive comments. Covert narcissists love the idea of a perfect holiday, as long as they're getting all the credit. And they'll go all out and everything has to be perfect and done their way. But as the pressure builds, they start to get overwhelmed, stressed out, and that's when the passive aggressive comments intensify. So covert narcissists rarely attack straight on. It always comes from the side, so as sarcasm or little jokes that leave you feeling confused and off balance. She may occasionally yell or rage, but she's learned that overt aggression makes it harder to play the victim. So most of the aggression is hidden in her tone, her timing, and the look on her face. You're getting hit with backhanded remarks that make you look lazy, clueless, or selfish. Often these remarks are in front of other people. So let's say you've spent the entire morning shoveling the driveway so guests can park, taking out the garbage, moving chairs, running errands, and doing all this background work. And you finally step into the kitchen on Christmas Day to carve the turkey, and she says in front of everyone, "Well, look who showed up. Nice to see that you're helping." And everyone chuckles, but her tone says it all. She's trying to suggest that you sat on your ass all day doing nothing, which could be further from the truth. And if you call that out, she'll say, "Relax. I'm just kidding. I can't say anything around you." So it's a catch-22. Either you allow her to make you look lazy as she paints herself the overworked saint who gets no help from you. And if you say something, you look like you're overreacting and can't take a joke. No matter what, she maintains control without any accountability. She gets to release her resentment, shame you, and test how far she can push while still being able to say, "I didn't do anything wrong." And this covert aggression is often dressed up as humor. But it's not. It's aimed at making you look bad and ruining your mood. Number 2 is the "no one appreciates me, I do everything" Martyr Act. And this is one of the most predictable holiday patterns with covert narcissists, this martyr routine. So she insists on taking charge of everything: the food, the schedule, the gifts, the decorations. She refuses help or micromanages to such a degree that helping feels impossible. Then, once she's overextended herself, completely by choice, she flips into martyr mode. Heavy sighs. "No one appreciates how much I do around here. I'm the only one who cares." And if you step in and try to help, it's too late. You didn't care enough to think of it yourself. Everything is already ruined anyway. By doing everything, she buys herself the right to guilt trip you, paint herself as the selfless martyr, and cast you as the thoughtless child who is selfish and careless. Meanwhile, you know the truth. She's already given you 20 lists that you've completed without complaining. But somehow the story is still that you do nothing and she's carrying you. And the more you scramble to prove that you appreciate her, the more she doubles down on the story that you never do enough. And that is the covert narcissist's martyr script, over functioning and then weaponizing it. Number 3 is emotional sabotage. So this happens right before an important event. So you're minutes from walking out the door for a family dinner, a work party, or whatever holiday event is happening, and right on cue, she picks a fight. Suddenly, she's bringing something up from 3 months ago. You embarrassed her. You never listen. You already ruined everything. And you're confused. You get defensive. You try to explain yourself. And then she drops the next bomb. Well, maybe I just won't go. Maybe you should take the kids without me then. Now you're reassuring, begging, and before you've even left the house, you're rattled, anxious, and walking on eggshells. If she can knock you off balance before you leave, she controls your mood, your behavior in front of other people, maybe, and the story she tells later. See, look how distant and checked out he is. This is what I have to deal with. And this isn't an accident. A covert narcissist does this emotional sabotage to throw you off. Number 4 is sulking, withdrawal, and holiday meltdown moments. So, a covert narcissist controls the room through moodiness and meltdowns if necessary. Maybe you spend some time with your kids or laugh with your family or just have a normal conversation with a female cousin. And next thing you know, she's turned cold, quiet, and emotionally shut down. Now, suddenly, everyone is adjusting their behavior to try to make her happy and prevent a meltdown. And if you ask what's wrong, you'll get nothing. I'm fine. I'm just tired. You're obviously having a great time. And later you will get, you ignored me the entire night. You made me look so stupid. You're always trying to embarrass me. You don't know how to treat a woman. And all because she didn't get all the attention and appreciation that she believes she's entitled to. Now, the hard truth is that if she's not the emotional center of the holiday, she will drag the mood down until she is. And this is for control of attention. So everyone has to dance around her to make her feel important and at the center of everything. Number 5 is using the holidays to quietly cut you off from your family. Holidays are one of the easiest times for a covert narcissist to isolate you from the people who actually care about you. It often starts subtly. On the drive home from your parents' place, she says things like, "Your mom doesn't like me, I can feel it." Or, "Your sister's always judging us." Or, "Your dad drinks too much, I can't stand being around that energy." And at first, maybe you defend them. Then you start defending her to them. And over time, you catch yourself thinking, "It's easier if we just do our own thing this year," or "I'll keep the peace and skip the holiday dinner with my family," or "It just causes too much drama, let's just stay home." Meanwhile, if your family ever tries to point out these red flags, she doubles down. "They've never accepted me. Your family always makes me the problem. Your family is so messed up. Why are you always on their side?" And she'll probably start shaming you for having such a shitty family or for being too attached to them, maybe calling you a mama's boy and saying that you're not man enough to put her as your priority. So now you feel bad. You're stuck in the middle. And as time goes on, you try to avoid conflict by taking her side more and more. But the reality is, most of the drama is being generated by her, then blamed on your family. If she can convince you that your family is against her and that they are the problem, then slowly you stop going, you stop reaching out, and you become more and more isolated. Number 6 is holiday hoovering. So, whether you're out of the relationship or technically still together, holidays are prime time for covert narcissists to reel people back in. If you're already out of the relationship, it can look like a message saying, "You crossed my mind. I just wanted to wish you happy holidays, no expectations." Or maybe it's a photo saying, "Remember last year we were so happy together." Or maybe it's messages about gifts she has for you or your kids. Maybe it's a sudden crisis. "My mom is sick. I'm all alone." If you're still in the relationship, you'll get a different version of this. So maybe she'll warm up to you after weeks of coldness. She's extra affectionate, nostalgic, talking about fresh starts. Either way, it's the same play. She senses your emotional vulnerability around the holidays and starts pulling on your heartstrings. But remember, nothing has changed. And another thing is, she's probably running the same I miss you, I'm struggling, I've changed script with anyone from her past, exes, almost relationship backup guys. So, as much as it might feel compassionate to respond and you don't want to feel cruel, especially during the holidays, but the truth is, this isn't about closure. It's not about peace or genuine connection. It's about reopening the trauma bond and reminding herself that she can get to you anytime she wants. This is holiday hoovering, seasonal love bombing, but it always has the same old outcome. Number 7 is the post holiday rewrite. No matter how you end up getting through the holidays, a covert narcissist will always rewrite the narrative afterwards. Maybe you're thinking things went relatively well, but then she starts in with, the kids were disappointed. They said you were barely present. My family thinks you're cold. You embarrassed me. Or why is it so hard for you to just blah, blah, blah. Fill in the blank with whatever you supposedly did to disappoint or humiliate her. She'll take one tiny moment. Maybe you were quiet for 10 minutes. You stepped outside for some fresh air. You didn't react big enough to a gift. And she uses that as proof that you ruined the whole holiday. And if you push back, you get, wow, you really don't get it. You really don't see yourself, do you? And psychologically, this is narrative control and gaslighting. She can't let the holiday simply be fine because then she loses her favorite role, the wounded, unappreciated victim who puts up with you. But here's the truth: holidays with a covert narcissist suck because no matter how hard you try or what you say or do or don't say or don't do, it always ends the same. Passive aggressive digs, guilt trips, shaming, and rewriting the narrative. And the best tip I can give you is to name the pattern for what it is, expect it to happen again this year because it always does, and mentally rehearse not taking the bait. That's it. Accept that you can't change her behavior, but you can change your response to it. And another thing you have control over is your decision about whether or not you want to stay in this relationship. So if you're a man who is dreading the holidays because of a narcissistic partner, you might want to consider my toxic relationship recovery program, which is a step-by-step process to break the trauma bond, stay grounded when she hoovers, and rebuild a life where holidays actually feel peaceful again. And if you happen to be a channel member, I've also recorded a separate holiday survival game plan where I will walk you through specific phrases and responses to deal with these situations. But even if you're not a member, what we've covered here today is enough to start recognizing the patterns and protecting your sanity this holiday season. Wishing you happy holidays, and I will see you again next week.